We've been working with Hit Point Press for years now, as they are our primary sponsor here at the Gallant Goblin, so I have a pretty good sense of how they approach new projects. When they're presented with an idea that they're passionate about, they go all in. I might be biased, but everything they've developed so far has had really high production values. Humblewood, Heckna, so many other projects that have excelled with creativity and outstanding writing and stylistic art and high quality physical products like their books and their cards. I think they've been one of the most consistent third-party D&D companies out there. The Field Guide to Floral Dragons has been in development for a while through their Patreon, and now you can get it all compiled into this lovely little book here. This is essentially a dragon bestiary. You get 21 new types of dragons to add to your 5e games, from the tiny-sized plane-hopping dandelion dragon, to the haughty and toxic larkspur dragon, to the kind-hearted avuncular apple tree dragon. You also get a supporting cast of creatures to complete the ecosystem and some related magic items and poisons. In today's paid Kickstarter preview, I'll go through the book to help you decide if it's right for your table, and we'll touch on some of the supporting accessories that you can get to enhance your adventures. So, take your allergy medicine because it is time to step out with our Field Guide to Floral Dragons. Let's talk big picture first. What can you expect with this book? So most bestiaries give you a page or two max per creature. Mostly they focus on the stat blocks with maybe a paragraph of lore, maybe a sidebar for flavor. If you're playing a campaign that focuses on tactics over storytelling, that's usually enough. But if you're trying to make those creatures feel alive and a part of your world, you're left doing a lot of that world building yourself. I'm happy to report that the Field Guide to Floral Dragons does a great job of giving you lots of lore and flavor and story hooks to make it much easier to bring these dragons into your campaigns. Each entry is generally divided into the same sections. You get the lore of the origins of the dragon, information about their physiology and appearance, a few paragraphs about the habitat in which they generally live, and then lots of information on their behavior. Then you get 3 rolling tables to generate your own dragon of that type. A D8 table for personality traits, a D6 table for motivations, and a D4 table for adventure hooks. And then you get your stat block, and you get 1 main stat block per dragon. Some of the more powerful dragons will have layer actions and regional effects as well. And each dragon also has several sidebars. You get in-world flavor entries into the guidebook itself, and often you get at least 1 gameplay morsel per dragon, like a related magic item or information on altering the stat block to meet your needs, or related poisons or toxins, things like that. So let me give you an example. Let's take a look at our apple tree dragon that I mentioned earlier. Once, a long time ago, a great hill dragon laid a large golden egg on top of a mountain. Eventually, the egg rolled down the mountain and came to a rest in a verdant valley that was the current home for a peaceful band of nomads. They saw the egg as a gift from their gods and showered it with love and care. Eventually, the egg hatched, and the nomads treated the young dragon wormling with even more care and affection, teaching it about the world, imparting it with their values. The dragon grew into the enormous apple tree dragon that you can see here, and the people gave up their wandering ways to make permanent homes under its protective branches. The book goes into detail on their physiology, talking about the effects of the seasons on it and how it reacts to sunlight. Apple tree dragons also frequently serve as homes for other types of floral dragons, like rhododendron dragons and little dandelion and amaranth dragons. Learn more about those in the book. But apple tree dragons must live among humanoids. You will not find an apple tree dragon living alone in a dark cave like most dragons do. They cultivate a community around them and protect their people from harm. The giant apples they produce can be consumed by humanoids, and the book gives you gameplay mechanics to go along with them. If we wanted to generate an apple tree dragon, we could use the rolling tables. A 3 on the adventure hook table gives us a young apple tree dragon that just turned 100. Its parent asked the party to escort it on its journey to find a new home for itself. A 4 on the motivation table gives us this: I want to help strengthen the bonds between all species of floral dragons and humanoids. And an 8 on the personality traits table gives us: I become melancholy in the fall as my leaves drop, ruminating on all the people I've loved and lost. You and me both, little buddy. The stat block for it is just immense. It can extend a protective aura around the people near it as sunlight passes through its leaves. The light gains its healing properties, and the dragon has a sunlight breath attack that can deal radiant damage, and it can blind their enemies. It also has all sorts of legendary actions and layer actions and regional effects, and I'm going to leave that for you to discover. The one thing I didn't mention earlier on was that there wasn't just one golden egg that was laid on top of that mountain. There were two. The other one rolled down the other side of the mountain, and you can pick up the book to see what became of it. And there are a lot more details I could give you just about the apple tree dragon, but I hope this shows you what you can expect from each entry in this book. The dragons in here aren't isolated either. The dragons have relationships and rivalries with each other, so once you start introducing them into your campaign, you can easily and organically bring in the others. And part 2 of the book introduces those other creatures that can flesh out the ecosystem with your stories, from the little Vespin bees that are essential for floral dragon pollination and which make magical honey, to the fungus that can corrupt floral dragons and bring them into a mushroom dragon hive mind. There's information in the book for adjusting stat blocks if your floral dragons become corrupted. Let me draw your attention to just a few of the other dragons in this book. One of my favorites is the peony dragon, which, at least to me, feels like what you would get if a dragon was really a polymorphed cocker spaniel. You can make an essence from the flowers in its layers that you can use when you cast abjuration spells to improve them in various ways. Due to their nature, succulent dragons rarely encounter other floral dragons and rule their desert kingdoms without competition. And don't get too close or you'll get pricked. The magnolia dragons are all about family. If you encounter one, its entire family is probably nearby. With draconic feelings of superiority, imagine a campaign like Game of Thrones, but all of the royal humans, like Lannisters and everybody, they're all actually dragons. Just imagine that as a campaign. Vampire lily dragons are hulking flower dragon vampires, as you might imagine. Not so much the sexy, sparkly vampires, but the really undead, stinky ones. You get the idea. Now, with this project, I think people will immediately know if this is a product that they'd be interested in. Do you think adding a whole new cast of nature-themed dragons to your campaign would make it more fun? If it does sound like fun to you, then you just need to know if this book nails the execution. And that's a two-part question. First, is the quality and quantity too, honestly, of the writing good? In my admittedly biased opinion, yes it is. If you know the track record of the talent on this project, that probably won't come as a surprise to you. But the dragons and the creatures here are well designed, seemingly well balanced, and ready to pull into your campaigns to tell some interesting stories. Aside from maybe getting an actual little adventure in the book, there wasn't really anything that struck me as missing from the book. You get a wide variety of dragons that'll probably hit every campaign theme you can think of, and you get creatures and lore to just flesh out the setting. It's a really fun book. The other half of the product execution question is the quality of the physical book. And my early copies seem to be mostly complete, but it's very possible that it'll change before it's shipped out, so keep that in mind. But it's obviously smaller than your standard D&D and Pathfinder books. It's 6 inches by 9 inches, 169 pages currently. It has a kind of satin finish to it, so that's kind of nice to feel, and it's got the wraparound art here. The organization and the layout and the print job are all really great, especially compared to some of the competition I've seen out there. It has a sort of semi-glossy paper. I tell you, I really need to learn all the terms for print and paper and book quality so I can describe these a little bit better. But yeah, this is a solid little book that you could probably read in a quaint little coffee shop. Someone is bound to come up to you and be like, "Is that really a book about floral dragons?" And you'll be like, "Yeah, for D&D games." And they'll be like, "Oh, I love D&D, but I don't have anyone to play with." And then you'll start dating, and you'll fall in love, and you'll start a little garden together, and you'll get married, and you'll adopt children, and then you'll have grandchildren, and you'll spend your golden years just tending to your flower and vegetable garden that you've poured so much love into over the years. And yeah, I'm not saying that this book is going to cause you to fall in love, but I'm also not saying that. So for the sake of your future grandchildren, do you really want to take the risk of not picking this book up? That's all I'm saying. I'm going to be back soon with a video about the campaign itself, where we'll go over the pledge tiers and the add-ons and anything else that crops up. So, if this video is out already, you can see it in the corner up there. Otherwise, stay tuned here and you'll find it soon. If you're interested in the project, again, hit those links in the corner or in the video description down below, or in the pinned comment down below. And if you enjoyed the video, subscribe here and leave me a little comment or a like. That helps a lot. You can find more reviews on TTRPG books and minis and terrain and accessories here at the Gallant Goblin on YouTube. But for now, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.